Big changes are coming. Big catalyst week ahead. Hey up everyone, welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. I'm Vaz. Do you know what time it is? Time to start talking EVTOLs. Welcome to the Saturday live regular EVTOL show. Might be a bit more casual than my daily 20 minutes of your EVTOL market updates, but it's necessary. Sometimes it's good to have slight laid-back perspective as well. War in Iran has broken out. It will not be the main topic, but this will shed a bit of light on what's happening and what we can expect on the market opening bell on Monday and subsequently on Tuesday as well. So what are we going to talk about today? Today we have big catalyst ahead next week for the eVTOL market. But before we get to that, let's quickly break down the current situation. War has broken through in Iran now, as Sensei gave you brilliant update. I love the show. Congratulations, Sensei. Great coverage. This is no longer background tension or proxy friction. This is open military escalation, and when something shifts from risk possibility to active event, markets are forced to reprice immediately, and we could see some action on the market opening bell or even on the futures open on Sunday night. Over the weekend, traders cannot react in real time, so Monday's open becomes the pressure release. Markets don't price emotion, then price uncertainty, and right now uncertainty has increased massively. Uncertainty, the key question markets will ask, is not about politics, it's about scope. Is this contained? Does it escalate regionally? Does it threaten energy infrastructure? Is this going to affect oil supplies? Does it involve additional global powers? So all of these questions, answers to them should materialize over this weekend, over today and tomorrow, next couple of days, and obviously on Monday we will see the reaction. Those questions determine whether this is a short volatility spike or structural regime shift. And why I'm talking about this, I will get to that very shortly. Markets can handle bad news, but what they struggle with is unprecedented escalation. So again, this could already have been priced in. If the oil supplies are not affected, we could see fairly stable response to this on Monday. If not, if there's further escalation, we have more drama and more action putting up, we can see very volatile Monday. The risk of historically geopolitical shocks trigger a mechanical response. We move into a risk of environment right now. So what it typically means, equities gap down, high growth names underperform, energy prices rise, gold attracts flows, and silver now as well, and volatility increases. Capital moves toward precedent safety. The rotation is not ideological, it's algorithmic and institutional. As we know, it's positioning adjustment. I think Sensei and Martyn, they both will try to bring you as much of update and prepare you for Monday opening bell as they can. So if you stand by, definitely hit the like button, and if you are new to this channel, subscribe, because there should be more updates coming out from both my colleagues, Sensei and Martyn. Oil, that is the key, obviously, is the key pivoting point of the market now. That will be affecting the market open on Monday. Oil is transmission mechanism here. If supply routes in the Middle East are threatened, especially shipping corridors, we have the Strait of Hormuz, oil prices rise, and higher oil has knock-on effects on, it feeds inflation expectations, it influences central bank tone, it affects rate assumptions, it compresses growth stock multiples. So this could be the long-term reaction. So even if the conflict is geographically contained, oil volatility can ripple through equity markets. If oil stabilizes quickly, markets stabilize quickly as well. If oil spikes and holds, pressure persists. So on Monday, what we can realistically expect on Monday? Likely a volatile opening, as I already said, potential gap down in broad indices, strength in energy and defense names, weaknesses in high beta growth sector. And this is why I'm leading. This is why what I'm leading onto. If the markets are volatile, if we have a gap down, obviously the high beta growth sectors like the eVTOL market, like the flying taxis, which you have been watching behind me, will take a big hit. The durability of that move depends on the headlines, obviously, and what materializes over today and tomorrow. Markets will be extremely sensitive to escalation or de-escalation language. This is headline-driven volatility. Now, transition to the eVTOL sector. It is a high beta sector, as already mentioned. Now, let's zoom in onto the eVTOL sector. This sits in high beta category, so that means it's pre-revenue in many cases. In most of the cases, most of the companies are in pre-revenue. Capital intensive. Obviously, we are not generating any revenue. We are burning cash. Some of the companies quicker than the others, but this is what it means. It's sentiment driven as well. And I will lead onto that very shortly. We will have massive catalyst next week, and we will have positive news next week. And obviously it depends on forward expectations. And again, that will pan out next week. So bear with me. We'll get to that very shortly. So this makes it more sensitive to macro volatility than defensive sectors, obviously. In risk of moments, innovation themes tend to underperform first. That is structural market behavior. Repricing, and this is important. Short-term eVTOL names may see sharper percentage swings than broader index. Liquidity can thin out. Retail participation can soften, which we have already been witnessing. And speculative capital can rotate out. So the prices we have been watching all week, and I've been telling you, let's be mindful, let's be prepared for this, because we can see much lower levels. And we broke down, and we will break down each publicly traded eVTOL company like Joby Aviation behind me or Joby, their main competitor. We'll break it down later in the show. So don't go anywhere. I'll give you chart analysis, or we'll break down what we can expect next week for each stock. So this repricing is not necessarily deterioration. That is a mouthful to say. It's just sentiment. It's just rotation of capital, and all this money will come back eventually. Whether it's in the very short time frame, or whether it's further down the road, we don't know yet. We will find out probably next week, as early as next week. So we must prepare macro compression and from sector specific weakness. They are not the same. So fundamentals, what we can expect. This is where discipline matters. Geopolitical escalation does not cancel certification programs. Fundamentals are there. Those who have been following me, we have been talking about it so extensively over the past few weeks, and I will repeat it again. I will bring it up again today. But the fundamentals are there. The geopolitical escalation does not cancel certification programs. It does not halt aircraft designs. It does not dismantle production facilities. It does not undo government pilot programs. The fundamentals are there. FAA milestones continue. Manufacturing ramp continues. Infrastructure planning continues. And infrastructure planning will be a very hot topic for next week. The structural roadmap of advanced air mobility remains intact. Now we have compression, cyclical compression. I like the word. I've learned it this morning and I love it. Let me explain why. What we may see is cyclical compression. Valuations contract multiples tighten, and speculation cools. Compression phases are uncomfortable, but historically, they are not permanent unless structural fundamentals deteriorate. So, unless we can see this aircraft not working out, Joby Aviation winding down their progress, their production ramp, whatever, you name it, the fundamentals will be there and they will be growing as of next week. And you will find out in the very minute. Bear with me. So, historically, they are not permanent unless structural fundamentals deteriorate. That is a mouthful, I tell you. And at this stage, nothing about this conflict directly alters the eVTOL deployment roadmap. It alters sentiment, not trajectory. Now we have accumulation. And again, I've been talking about this for a while. And I've been telling you that now we have the second best position to enter the eVTOL market, because now the fundamentals are accumulating very heavily. In volatile macro environments, long-term capital often waits quietly. That's what has been going on. When uncertainty peaks, accumulation tends to begin beneath the surface. Because once volatility fades, and now listen carefully, once volatility fades, and historically it does, unless escalation becomes systemic, high beta innovation themes can rebound aggressively. And we have witnessed this in the eVTOL market multiple times. As of previous Christmas 2024, we had a massive run, and I will get to that very shortly. I will show you the chart. We had a massive run in the eVTOL sector, and we had another one after the tariff wars. We had tariff wars where the eVTOL market was stripped pretty much to the bone, and it recovered, and it recovered very volatilely and very aggressively, and we hit the all-time highs. So again, that's not optimism, that's cycle behavior. Now, what is the biggest catalyst next week? We've already covered Joby Aviation, one of the market-leading companies. We have Joby Aviation and Joby Aviation. Their aircraft is just hovering behind me. Not physically, but it is. Not literally behind me, but it is on the screen behind me. Joby Aviation have delivered very good update on their earnings call. We covered their earnings call. We had a great audience. Amazing. I loved it. One of the best shows, and probably the best show of this quarter so far. Joby Aviation have delivered great progress. They have seeded, they have based more fundamentals, and we can expect, once the cycle compression comes away, we can expect this to spring out. We can expect good run and good growth of Joby Aviation, along with ACHR, who have their earnings call on Monday, and we are covering this live, and I'm expecting this will be the biggest show of the whole quarter. I can expect a fair few thousand people joining. I'm not joking. One of the earnings call we covered before, we had 5,500 people watching ACHR Aviation's earnings call. So if you are new to this sector, again, definitely subscribe, because we will bring you some good updates on Monday. That's not only Monday, we are also talking about Tuesday, where Martyn is frozen on the screen. I couldn't get him off the screen. Where we will have more news from the Department of Transport from the United States. Now I'm leading onto this. Now here is where this becomes strategically interesting. At the same time as geopolitical instability, we are awaiting eIPP outcome. So the eIPP is eVTOL Integration Pilot Program, joint venture by Department of Transport and the FAA. What is this about? Well, the American government, the United States government, will be selecting multiple regions, at least five, across the United States, that will implement, adapt, and establish network that will be using flying taxis. So this could be massive catalyst for the sentiment around the eVTOL market. However, if the markets are not ready for it, it doesn't mean this is bad news. It does not mean we shouldn't be invested. We may have even better position on Monday and Tuesday. The markets don't like the geopolitical instability. The fundamentals will be there and they'll be growing. So this is structural validation. Now we have the United States government supporting this concept. And it's not, we are not talking about prototypes. We are not talking about drawings anymore. We are talking about real live deployment. So this is not speculative marketing anymore. Now we are coming to the validation. If networks such as Ohio Medical Corridor, New York, Miami, Texas, Los Angeles receive confirmed backing, which they will, very likely, most likely, me personally, I can see the Ohio Corridor, I can see Miami, I can see New York, I can see Los Angeles. These 4 regions, I am very confident will be selected. And this will be massive PR as well for the whole sector. So just think of it. Think of it. You can see your flying taxis flying overhead in Manhattan. You can see them flying in Hollywood. And you might be able to fly one as a passenger as early as probably the end of the year or early 2027. How about that? And it will be massive sentiment, and that could catalyst very good run when the markets are ready. So that changes perception, as I already said, because government alignment reduces regulatory uncertainty. It signals seriousness of deployment. It attracts institutional capital comfort, and it moves the narrative from concept to implementation and deployment. Now we have sentiment collision. So we have 2 forces colliding: geopolitical fear compressing sentiment and government-backed deployment strengthening structural confidence. You as an investor must not fear out. You are already invested. The eVTOL market, this is your moment where you have to sit down and wait. The changes are coming. Changes are coming. Just need to wait. Just need to be patient. As I told you, historically, we have now the best investment opportunity, we have the best time to invest because we are that close to see passengers taking off in these aircraft. And also, we are not still in the design rooms. We are still not at the drawing board. We have been flying, multiple companies have been flying their prototypes. They have been proving their concept works. They have been proving that design is efficient and sound as well. We have now the FAA, CAA, the regulatory bodies around the world working together, proving these aircraft are sound and safe as well. And we are that close from seeing these to take off in the public airspace. And we are very close to see these flying in the United States. And that could be as early as end of this year. And if you look at the prices, if you look at the current market sentiment, they have very good entry opportunity in there. So if markets stabilize while the initial eVTOL initial pilot program roll out seriousness, that creates powerful setup. We have compressed valuations plus visible catalyst plus structural backing. That combination historically precedes strong sentiment reversals. And we've already had these sentiment reversals, a couple of them in the last 12 months. Clarity, markets don't reward stability immediately. So again, you don't see immediate reaction, don't freak out. They reward clarity. Markets reward clarity. If escalation stabilizes and infrastructure deployment becomes visible, the narrative shifts quickly. From speculative flying taxis to regionally backed aerospace infrastructure, that is different category in the eyes of investors. And you could witness it together with me in the past few weeks. And we will break it down again once we get to the stock analysis. We'll have a look at the charts. So this is a different category in the eyes of the investors. Now we have this distinction. So discipline for us is simple. We separate macro noise from structural trajectory. Monday may be volatile, or next week might be volatile, or maybe next couple of weeks might be volatile. We don't know. But if we are ready for it, yes, the eVTOL market may take a hit, but nothing about this geopolitical shock rewrites the long-term adoption path of advanced air mobility. Preparation, compression phases are uncomfortable, as we already have been witnessing, but they are often preparation phases. When markets recover, and historically they do after contained geopolitical shock, sectors with certification visibility, production readiness, government backing, and infrastructure alignment, all we have in here, tend to lead the rebound. The key is preparation, not panic. And let's have a look. Let's have a look at the market right now. So we could see this, we could witness this already last year when we had the tariff wars. Let me just put up the right chart. This is ACHR Aviation. This is ACHR Aviation and their journey on the stock market in past 12 months. Right here, we can see tariff wars. If I go a little bit back, further back, we are now seeing the carry trade in here. October, November. ACHR below $3. Then we had that massive run for Christmas and January. Sell-off, and then tariff wars in here. Straight to the bone. ACHR below $6. Then we had that massive rally. Markets reversed, sentiment reversed, catalyst, a lot of positive news as well. And ACHR did a big run, all to the current highs, almost $14. And we had a cool off, setback. There were some dilutions, there was some news fueling the setback. Then we had another run, $13, higher $13. Then we had another market retraction around September. And then we had a Tesla washing machine frenzy, obviously. That was a big hype. I talked about it yesterday. That was just a bubble that blew up. And you can see how quickly that bubble bursted. And now, this is the current market. We zoom in, we look closer. This is where we are now. So again, we are in massive accumulation phase. The markets currently have been going sideways, maybe slightly up. I would not be surprised if we cool down a bit in the coming weeks. But we've been through this so many times. Carry trade in here and look at the massive run from $3 all the way to 11 and then 12 again later in the year, all the way down to below $6 and then a massive run over $13. Then again, we had a retraction, $7.80, local bottom, and a run all the way above $14. So you can see the eVTOL market, the eVTOL stocks are volatile. Again, we had recently back end of the year. Good retraction and then another run. It wasn't as explosive, but now we can expect a good ride. And we might not see this retraction again. So this is ACHR. What we can expect short term. As already mentioned multiple times, we have few levels to look at. The very bottom, $6.60. I'll be watching this level, this mark. I don't think we will hit this mark again, but if we do, there's a very strong support. On the way up, we can be looking at $7.50 as a resistance. The next level, $7.80. $8 will be the mental barrier. ACHR might be moving around for next few weeks if we have a good sentiment, if we have good news next week, and then we can eye $9. Once we are above $9, I don't want to say we are out of the woods, but we have much better sentiment. Joby Aviation, they copy each other, they follow each other. So if I just zoom out without breaking this down into the detail, tariff wars. Let me zoom out a bit further so you can see the whole story. Carry trade in here, Joby below $4. And then Christmas 2024 run all the way to almost $11. Retraction, tariff wars again, eVTOL market stripped to the bone. Joby as low as below $5. And then a massive run all the way. Joby peaked because they announced so many news and there was so much catalyst. Joby peaked over 20 at over $20 mark. Look at this here. Then we had another retraction and another peak because Joby kept feeding us with good news. And now Joby, you see this massive gap. There was a massive dilution of $1 billion offering. It wasn't a panic dilution. It was well structured. It was planned. It was disciplined. They actually did very good exercise on this, protect their value and their investors as well. We know the markets, they tend to overreact, and this was overreacted. And now we have not recovered from this because the sentiment is what it is. However, Joby, they have announced their earnings, and you can see slight reversal already being built up with Joby. Let me just explain. Let me just show you on the chart. This was the earnings day. Let me just move it out of the way. This was the earnings day. Let's not have it so dramatic. This was the earnings day. You could see the reaction on the night. Joby went up like 7-8%. Obviously, the markets cooled down. Nvidia, they delivered great earnings. Nvidia sold off. And Joby, because it's a tech new sector, it retracted and copied. Then we had a good run in pre-market on the following day, on Thursday, and on the opening bell as well. And we almost hit $11. And I've got it marked here as a key resistance, $11. Once we break through $11, we have a massive gap. All the way to $13 we have to fill. So very likely we could see a good run once we break through the $11 mark. But you can see Joby has been going sideways, but holding around the $10 mark. Previously, Joby would have been going down, but you could see that sentiment build up, the accumulation. You can see it here already. You wouldn't see this on ACHR, but you might see this on ACHR next week. ACHR didn't copy Joby for the first time in a while. ACHR didn't copy Joby on this spike. So markets might be waiting for ACHR's action for their earnings call next week. So just something to put into perspective. And because I had few people actually reaching out to me and asking me, is Joby a good buy now or should I buy ACHR? So as I said, historically, we have the second best position to invest in the eVTOL market. Our first best position would be if we have a massive market crash and we break through all these supports and we start trading in much lower levels. The eVTOL market retracts. I can expect the eVTOL market to retract 20-30%. 20-30%. If we have a massive crash, if we have carry trade, if the geopolitical situation escalates, if we have oil supply issues, there's so many things waiting on the sideline to come in and say, Mr. Investor, I'm not going to stick my finger up, but that'll be a big middle finger in your face. All of this can happen, but don't think necessarily going to happen. If that happens, we will have much greater recovery, but much later as well. So again, I think we have now the second best position to invest in the eVTOL market. And on Monday, we have Joby Aviation's earnings. And on Tuesday, the United States government is going to tell us New York City, Los Angeles, Florida, and more regions will be adapting the flying taxi concept. And these regions will be flying passengers as early end of this year. If not, that will be early 2027. That will be a massive catalyst for the market. So although we might not get immediate reaction, it will build up, it will accumulate, getting ready for the right moment, blow off the lid. Before we get back in the studio, I think I might have to go a bit early. I forgot to mention it on the in the beginning of the show. This show will not be as long as normally. I might have to go shortly, so I just don't want to miss anything. Let me bring you a very interesting tweet just to back what I just told you. We have Mr. Mac here, one of my friends from the eVTOL media sector. His handle is at _Mr_Mac. You can see it here. Can I zoom in? I cannot zoom in. He's an investor. He's involved in a company. He's involved in the market that is directly involved in the eVTOL market. He's not building eVTOLs, but he's related directly to the eVTOL market, and he brings some good insights as well. By the way, he had good interview. With Brendan Robinson, Horizon Aircraft CEO as well last week. If you want to follow him, you're more than welcome. But what he's doing here today, I sat in on an advanced air mobility webinar that focused on California and the Monterey Bay / San Jose areas. Part of that presentation was information on the eIPP, eVTOL Initial Pilot Program in California, future rollout of eVTOLs and advancement of drones. eIPP, 3 regions, 5 counties, 11 airports for California. And we have some slides. And this is not backed up only by the Department of Transport. This is not backed up only by the FAA. There are multiple institutions involved in this, whether private or public or government, local government institutions and bodies, they are all involved in this. And just to show you, we have ACHR, Joby and Whisk involved in one of the schemes. We also have X-Wing, which is Joby's subsidiary. And we have more eVTOL and more advanced air mobility manufacturers here. Like Pivotal, we showed you that on our show before. And then we have more industrial structure. What this brings, these are the government bodies supporting the whole project. So advanced air mobility aligns with California's priorities: smart mobility, clean energy / decarbonization, economic development and equity. And you can see behind me, backed up by the government bodies. Here is the proposed network, or what regions, or how this is supposed to pan out. 3 types of operations: air taxi, which is the Central Coast and Bay Area, cargo in North California and Central Valley, and medical / logistics. 5 California-based original equipment manufacturers and 3 regions, 5 counties, 11 airports. So this already has been in making. This already has been in making. It's not that they will announce it on Tuesday and out of the sudden everyone will start running around and building eVTOL network. That already has been in making. So I just wanted to bring you this because I think it's very important and it's proving fundamentals are there. And it's building up very, very slowly for the whole thing take off, literally. I hope you understood what I've been trying to say. I hope you found it educational and interesting as well. Let's get back in the studio. In the meantime, you can still hit the like button. Not too late. It's never too late for a like button. And definitely subscribe because we'll be extensively covering all of this next week. Let's get back in the studio. There we are, back in the studio. Let me get something to drink. And I will talk to you in the chat. I could see there was a lot of messages coming through. So let me just put this, where's my mouse? Let me just put this on the screen. Whoa, so many messages. I love it. I love it. We've got great audience today, by the way. So thank you for joining me. Let me just get... That's sparkling water, by the way, yeah? I'm not drinking any mixes. That's sparkling water with orange flavor. Right. Let's have a look who we've got here and go through your questions. Right. Abby is here. We are running a poll. Are you excited for next week? Not only for the eVTOL market, but for markets in general. I think we might get good opportunity for a lot of stocks to get in. So the options are, oh yeah, baby, bring it on. Yes, but in lowercase, and no. 21% are not excited for next week. How come? Let me know why are you not excited? I'm well excited. I am well excited. Just because we are going to cover the biggest event of this quarter live. We will do the biggest show of this quarter as well. Let me just switch that. We'll do the biggest eVTOL show of this quarter. And then the news on Tuesday. Wow, I am well excited. So let's close the poll. Let me open a new one. Are you invested? I know the answers already. I know you all are investors in here. Are you invested in the eVTOL flying taxi sector? Yes, considering, and no. Right, you can cast your votes right now. And I'm getting super chat. Oh, I just ended the poll. Oh, what a... Okay, let's do it again. I'm sorry. Oh dear. Okay, start poll again. No, let me copy it. I'm not typing it again. I got a super chat. We've got some technical issue with super chats. I don't know why they are not coming through, but I will address them. Thank you very much for your super chats. I'll try to fix it. Let me just do one thing at a time. Let's do it properly. Let's not close it again. So, yes, considering, and no. Did I spell it right? Considering, yeah. Okay, so new poll is up. I'm not gonna close it now, okay? Good, I didn't close it. So, let's go through your comments. Abby is here. I love it. Abby was here last night already. Great show. Great support of Martyn as well. Great party last night. Abby, thank you. You made a very good show. Let's put it this way. You and Vince, wow, that was amazing. So, Eco Brittle. all oil stocks going to rocket? Yes, more than likely. Development alert is here. Zach, our friend from Uganda. Hello, Vaz, and everyone. Thank you for joining. I love it. I love that you are joining. Liz is here as well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, says Angie. Good evening, Vaz. It was a very eVTOL week. Great job covering. Thank you, Angie. Well, I'm now in the position we can do eVTOL update every day. And I'm so happy and proud of it that I've built a show that can be and keep up with the eVTOL market every day. And there's no greater reward than the same people coming to me every day, every night, joining me, talking to me, and obviously hitting the like button. Whether I get super chats or not, that's a different question, different conversation. But the biggest reward is that the show is growing. And I've got the same people coming, and we have some new people joining us as well. So I'm very proud of what I've done. I'm well happy that I can bring you the updates on the eVTOL market daily now. You're only 20 minutes of eVTOL market you need daily. So thank you, Angie. I meant to say busy week. What did you say? It was a very busy week. Yeah. Hello, Angie and Bruce, says Liz. So happy for you that you could see them live. Yes, definitely. Liz, you won't miss your opportunity. I have no doubt that Vertical will take Velo around Europe as well. And Germany, I wouldn't be surprised if Germany actually would be their first stop. So just something to look forward to. It was an awesome experience. Nothing seeing one up close. Yes, it's a life-changing experience. I mean, if you look at the footage we are providing you with, it's just and funny enough, speaking of which, that's me from the London event, from the world premiere of Velo. And again, if you look at the aircraft on the video, it looks good, but in real life, it's just something completely different. Have a look. A bit of party. Yeah, amazing event Vertical put up. And I'm so happy we could be there. And we could bring you the experience from the ground. Angie is struggling with her keyboard. I love it. Sir Joey is here. David Hensley joining us. I'm having my morning coffee in Vaz Paris eVTOL mug. I love it. I love it, Angie. That will wake me up. Well, it's a big one, isn't it? That must be a big coffee as well. Henrik is here. Good afternoon, all. Again, regulars coming in. I love it. I love it. Tidy Big Dog. Hi, everyone. Mark is here. Good morning. Dark Trobbit is here as well. Jerry and Elba. Hello, everyone. I love it. Abby is having Bloody Mary time. Angie says, I started my day in prayers for all countries involved in the recent development. Yes, Sensei has covered it in the morning. Great coverage. There will be more. There will definitely be more on this channel. Stand by. David Hensley is greeting everyone. Do we have any questions? Do we have anything? Abby. Okay, we are having conversation. Everyone wishing everyone good morning. That's great. I love it. Dark Robert, love the background. Okay, good. Thank you. David, get your Bloody Mary. Liz says, hope eVTOL can stand a bit at the market. Well, I hope what I told you, my presentation, answered your question a bit or your concerns. I mean, at the week, yeah, in the weeks, in the coming weeks. I hope it was clear. If not, just feel free to ask. Oh, Martyn is here. Martyn woke up. Morning all, just waking up. Yeah, nice one. Steve is here as well. Hi, Martyn. I'm Electrum now. Oh, congratulations. Is this where I see your trades. Yes, Electrum members, you see my trades on community posts on homepage. Excuse me, on homepage on YouTube channel. Yes, yes, yes. The boss is in the house, says Tidy Big Dog. JD is here as well. Good morning, Martin and Vaz. Thank you for joining. I love it. 1 year members badge. Look at that. High energy investment is here. Good morning, Vaz. I added to my ACHR position this week. Congratulations. Congratulations. Tidy Big Dog. Yesterday was a good day to buy. Yes, I agree. Sir Joey, yeah, I transferred money to my brokerage on Monday. For Monday, if ACHR hits below 6. Oh, you want to play this game? Fair enough. Good morning, everyone, says Raiden. Liz is waiting for the news. Diesel Raider, Vaz dropped some serious dough last night at the pub. Not me. Not me. It was Abby and Vince, weren't they? And others. I mean, Martin deserved it. It was, what a blast last night. But thank you for joining. I love it. I see you found the show. That's great. Anyone else? Elon Musk watches this show. Can Elon Musk put any comment in the in the chat? No, he's not. I'm pretty sure he's got better things to do. But wouldn't be nice. Copy that Diesel. Great night. Yes, I agree with Tidy Big Dog. Zach is here from California. Zach, you look out. Tuesday, your region will be definitely selected for the flying taxis. So there'll be much more good news. Very interesting, we find it. Are you all here? Yes, yes, yes. Zach, yeah, Zach always flies. I love his little stories. Super chat from David. Thank you, David. I love it. I don't know why it didn't come up on the screen. Let me try to fix it in a minute. Whoop. Got more messages going through. I love it. This show is so woken up. Woo! Ninja Cowboy is here as well. Didn't let me vote. Yeah, I didn't give you a chance to vote, mate. I just closed it right away. Sparkling water is the best. Yeah, it's mineral water. I prefer to drink mineral water. It does it does good things to my body. Let me put it this way. But obviously, water is water. Like non-mineral water. It ended before it started. Yeah, Raiden. Yes, yes. Ninja Cowboy. It works now. Okay. Michael Burr is here. Hi, Vaz. Thank you for joining. I love it. Vaz says, Martin says, I'm proud of you too, mate. A great member of the team. Thank you, Martin. Thank you. David says, smash that like button if you think. Smash the like button if you think Hillary Clinton's next disposition will be about murdering her husband. What's that? What the hell is that, David? Subwoofer is here. Thank you for joining as well. Good day, everyone. Bitcoin Craig. Looks like Discordians are joining us. That's great. Martin says, thanks to all of you who also watched my Neil Sedaka tribute video. That meant a lot to me. Yes, yes, I could see Martin was hit by that. One of his friends and favorite piano man. He passed away last night. So Martin did a nice tribute. And I can actually, you know what I'm going to do? I will do... But Martin Lucas music. I will do this. I will go to Martin Lucas music. If you... Oh, it wasn't on music channel, was it? Yes, it was. It was both. Yeah. Neil Sedaka dies. A very personal tribute from Martin Lucas. So let me share this with you. Copy. Let's check it in the chat. And I would like you to try to see it. I would like you to watch it. Yeah. Neil with Martin. Please. I can't... Whoop. Go away. Yes, I am invested. Go away. Oh, Right, I would like to ask you if you can check it out and watch it with Martyn. I can't watch it, I can't show it on the screen now because of copyright, but I would love you to do me this favor and check it out because it was beautiful. Martyn played very, very well from the bottom of his heart, as he would say. Liz says, I hope so, Vaz. Yeah, I have no doubt they'll be coming to Europe, and namely Germany. I think Germany will be the first country they'll be showing off their position, not this position. All right, David. Fair enough. Liz, Martyn, it was really nice from you. Need to finish the video. Great voice you have. Yes, indeed, indeed. Hi, what do you think market will do due to Iran-American war, says VG. Stay with us. There'll be more updates from Martyn, from Sensei. We don't know yet. The answer is we don't know yet. I think, me personally, the strike has been priced in because we could all see, we could all track the movements. We brought you actually this in our newsletter as well. We could track the movements of the Air Force, of the military. I think the strike has been priced in. Now it will depend whether it will escalate further, what countries are involved. It will depend on oil supply, and then we will see. And I think most of these answers we're going to gather through this weekend. So if you stay with us, if you join us, definitely subscribe as well and hit the like button. How many likes do we have? Oh, we don't have enough likes. We need to fix this. We don't have enough likes. That's no good. We need to fix this, guys. So yeah, definitely join us, and there'll be more updates coming from Martyn and Sensei. And who knows, maybe I will cover it later as well. I will cover some if there's any more news as well. Jim is here. Jim Newsong, one of the regulars, one of the great eVTOL supporters, and Amprius investors as well. We are covering Amprius earnings on Thursday, as already booked by Jim last Saturday. Was it Saturday? Well, doesn't matter. Jim just booked it. So I love it. I love it. I can bring this to you. Martyn says, we have now created a Lucasade village from the live shows into the Discord parties, events, the games channels with the Luca coin. Party together 24/7. That was my dream. Now realized. A place for all to have fun with each other. A real family engagement, says Martyn. Liz loves it. Always a great show, Vaz, says Angie. Thank you. Martyn says, I'm so touched as I also out the Neil Sedaka tribute in the investor channel. Big gamble as you are here for investment, not music. But you watched. No one unsubbed. We actually gained subs. Oh, very nice. Congratulations, Martyn. Congratulations. Angie paying tribute to Neil. There is the link if you want to check it out. Put a link. Yes, I've just done it. Supreme leader of Iran is dead. Oh, well, let's have a look if we have some news. Let's have a look if we have some news. We might cover it live. Might cover it live. That is live.
Detractors of Donald Trump are saying exactly that. Means it's more likely Israel first. Is that what you think?
Yes, I mean, just to give you an idea, and I am in the United States now, and I was in the thick of the debate in 2003.
Let's have a look what news we've got.
President George W. Bush, regardless, he went to the American people and told the American people why he wanted to attack Iraq, even though his rationale was based on falsehood. We know now. President Trump has not even told the American people why he decided to attack Iran now. Is Iran an immediate threat?
Today, all sorts of congressional reaction.
Had a piece 2 days ago, and it was on the front page. And he said the three major reasons that President Trump has laid out to attack Iran are either for...
Okay, that was Sky News. Let's have a look at BBC. Some update from BBC as well.
Being set out, I think it's fair to say, Christian, in terms of some of the statements that we've heard, essentially we've had statements put out this morning from the likes of Lindsey Graham, the Republican senator, a Donald Trump ally, and he essentially has said that he believes that this will be a successful operation. Yes, he said it will be a violent operation, but something that can redraw the map, essentially, he said, of the Middle East, changing the region in a way that we haven't seen for 1,000 years, is what he said. But then I think what we've seen is, although there has been an acknowledgement from Republicans and Democrats alike with regards to the posture of Iran on the international stage, the threat that that has posed to the United States, concern too about these strikes being launched without
Iran Supreme Leader targeted by
to give
Israel.
you one example, Thomas Massie, a Republican lawmaker, came out calling this an act of war that was unauthorized by Congress. We also heard, for example, from the likes of the Vice Chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Mark Warner, and he has been saying that there needs to be...
That was BBC. We've got CBS as well. Whoa. CBN.
For his base to absorb. And then the third would be Monday morning when the markets open, that we see how the markets would react to the ongoing conflict.
And in terms of Iranians rising up, I'm trying to imagine what it is like to be in your home and the currency is effectively collapsing and the economy is terrible and you've been frightened, and then you hear the U.S. president say it's your time to rise up. How empowered do you think Iranians would feel hearing that?
Look, I think, first of all, the U.S. president asked for them to come out after this is over. We don't know how this will be over. But even then, one has to remember that the massacre that the Iranian regime committed against its own people last month was not done with fighter jets and tanks. It was done with small arms.
Yeah.
So in order to completely dismantle the Iranian regime and its security apparatus in a way that they won't even be able to fire on unarmed, disorganized, fragmented civilian population would really require several weeks, if not months, of bombing at a very high civilian casualty cost. And even then, there is no organized opposition inside Iran who can take over. So in that scenario, I think the risk of a more radicalized leadership by the Revolutionary Guards or Iran descending into civil strife is higher than the possibility of some sort of Jeffersonian democracy emerging out of the blue.
Ali, as we talk...
Interesting. We've got Fox News as well. Live coverage from, or live feed from Fox News. So let's listen to it for a bit.
For the most part, countries that perhaps don't have the best interests of Western civilization at heart.
Before we wrap up here, I did want to just quickly cite President Trump. He released that video statement overnight, and he said, quote, "We may have casualties. That often happens in war." As we're taking a live look there at the White House, we did have our viewers write in questions a bit earlier. One of them was concerned about civilians. My question to you, could allegations of strikes hitting civilian locations trigger investigations into possible war crimes?
Well, apologies for the noise just then. It's an indication of further missiles onto central Israel on the missile home defense app on my phone. So your viewers will understand that there are continuing waves of ballistic missiles onto Israeli civilians as we speak. But in relation to the inevitable, I'm afraid, civilian and collateral damage in any war, the primary responsibility of moral armies, law-abiding armies, is to minimize those inevitable civilian casualties as much as possible. It is a very tragic but necessary fact of war that civilians will die. What we have seen, certainly over the last 2 years, with respect to Israel's conduct in the Gaza Strip, is an unprecedented attempt to reduce civilian casualties by taking precautions, by issuing warnings, by exercising proportionality assessments on a scale frankly never seen before. And I have no reason to expect that the military lawyers of both the IDF and the United States military will not be taking similar approaches with respect to minimizing civilian casualties. Of course, the targets of these strikes are military installations. To the extent that Iran and its proxies, Hamas and Hezbollah included, insist on using human shields and the civilian population in those respective areas to defend themselves or to seek to prevent legitimate strikes on their military installations, that is simply a calculation that the US military, that the Israeli military will have to undergo, a proportionality exercise that they will have to take with respect to the strikes that they are launching. But it's important to stress that that is always going to be measured against the anticipated military advantage of a strike. That's what international law says. And this is not an effects-based analysis. It doesn't really focus on how many civilians have ultimately perished, but what the intention of the law-abiding militaries was when carrying out their strikes. So that's an important measuring stick for when perhaps inevitably we start hearing about casualties in the course of these strikes against Iran that were not understandably all combatants. Unfortunately, one of the great tragedies of any armed conflict situation is that civilians will perish.
Yeah, and Natasha, we touched on a lot here, a lot to unpack there. Is there anything else that you think we missed? And just for our viewers, if I'm looking down, I'm just monitoring here to see if we're getting any more live feeds coming in. But Natasha, before I let you go, anything else you would like to add?
Well, I think perhaps in conclusion, this is clearly a momentous occasion. It is military action that has been a long time coming, Christy. The US buildup of military infrastructure in the region over so many weeks indicates also very strongly that it has been carefully planned. I think what the Iranians probably didn't gamble with was the recent statement that we've seen from Saudi Arabia in response to these indiscriminate attacks by Iran, by the Iranian regime, the Islamic regime there, against Bahrain, Saudi, strikes on Riyadh itself, Qatar, Kuwait. What we have seen is a dramatic shift in what's going on in the region and a dramatic shift in the balance. Saudi in particular was, until yesterday, seeking to broker an alternative outcome on behalf of the Iranians. It has now said it is all in defense of its regional partners, its brothers, as the statement read. So that is undoubtedly a game changer.
All right, Natasha, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
It's great to be with you. Thanks, Christy.
Right, that was Fox News. Would you like me to keep covering this for a bit? I don't have to go yet. I've got a bit of time. So would you like me to cover this? Let me know in the chat. There is live feed from Israel, as you can see on that screen, on the big screen. If you want me to cover this, Zach is saying now alarms and sirens all over Israel from the Iran firing missiles. Yes. There's some response. Would you like me to keep covering this for a bit, or shall we wrap it up and go? I'm trying to find more feed, more sources, what else we can cover. Let me know in the chat if you want me to cover more of this, or we wrap it up. There'll definitely be more feed on the channel from Martyn, Sensei, and maybe, who knows, maybe me later on as well. Sensei was expecting President Trump to speak as well, to address this. There shouldn't be anything from President Trump today, according to the official announcement by the White House. Bear with me. I'm getting a message from Sensei, so let me just play this, what he's saying. Let me know in the chat. Would you like me to cover this for a bit longer, or shall we just wrap it up and go? Let me just get a message from Sensei. Yeah, there were reports of President Trump addressing the nation, but apparently he's not anymore. Yeah, it might be an all-out war now. Okay, so I'm getting messages. Are we behind? Are you behind with the show? Because what we've got here, you need to go to YouTube. There's the live little down here. You've got a play button. You've got the volume button and this live. So if you click on the live, make sure
the hour of your
that is
freedom
red.
is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass.
Let's bring in now Alan Eyre, a distinguished diplomatic fellow at the Middle East Institute and former senior US diplomat. Good afternoon to you. Does what Donald Trump says he wants to happen, is that likely to happen?
No, it's not. Certainly the United States can inflict massive military damage. It can take out some of Iran's leadership. But, well, let me revise that. He can so decimate the Iranian infrastructure and the ruling institutions that the Iranian people can then try something. But the odds of this ending up with a new and more user-friendly Iranian government is very slim.
And the Israelis are saying that prior to this, Iran was presenting an existential
just got unconfirmed report that Iran launches Fatah hypersonic missile.
So the
reports
cause of the US
Iran state media. So this could be propaganda. This could be real.
Israel
it's unconfirmed yet, but this could be quite big big retaliation as well.
Or to wipe out Israel. But again, it's the weakest it's ever been, Iran. All three pillars of its strategic deterrence are gone. So as a practical matter, Iran posed no real threat to Israel, but Israel sees this as a good time to get rid of this regime.
Alan, stay there for a second, because we've had some picturing from the Fairmont Hotel that's in Dubai, and I want to show our viewers that. Let's have a look. Well, as you can see, a huge explosion in Dubai. Let's bring Alan Eyre back in, because, Alan, this does rather show that this is not action that is confined to Iran or Israel, the wider region, and parts of the wider region that people would have considered very safe previously, like Dubai, like the wider United Arab Emirates, like Riyadh in Saudi Arabia.
What we've got here, let me just put them down a bit. Let me just put them to one side. We've got a tweet here. Iran missiles hit United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi, and Al Dhafra Air Base, Qatar, Al Udeid Air Base, Kuwait, Ali Al Salem Air Base, Bahrain, US 5th Fleet Base, Jordan, intercepted over airspace, Israel, missiles fired, many intercepted. And you have this little map in here. Wow, that's very extensive.
Weeks when there were protests on the streets of cities across Iran, how the regime crushed those, killing tens of thousands of people, we believe. How afraid are you for the wider population of Iran and the risks that are posed to them now?
Well, the probable outcome in almost every scenario for the Iranian people is bad. It's increasing immiseration. It's a state that is less and less able or willing to provide essential goods and services. President Trump started this, I think, hoping that there would be a collapse of this regime and somehow miraculously a new regime taking its place that will benefit the Iranian people. I don't see that happening. So I think the downside of this military action for the Iranian people and for the region is quite high.
Let's finish off with a more
Martyn has put up a poll in Discord
for the US. A lot of criticism from certain quarters of Donald Trump for going ahead and doing this without congressional approval. We've seen, haven't we, in recent weeks, the Supreme Court overturning some of what Donald Trump wants to do in terms of tariffs. The fact that he's done this, could there be ramifications for him and his presidency?
Well, you're quite right, Matt. This is both illegal by U.S. law and also by international law. He didn't seek congressional authorization, nor did he try to get any sort of consensus at the UN amongst our allies. There are midterms coming up. His popularity is at record lows. The economic news is both good and bad. So yes, and the majority of American people, according to polls, are not in favor of the war that he just started. So yes, this could have significant adverse political, domestic repercussions for President Trump, unless it ends quickly and ends well, which I don't think is likely.
Yeah, let me just pick up on that final point. A lot of Republicans, a lot of MAGA supporters believed in and voted for him because of putting America first. But any observer would look at this and wonder if it is putting America first or someone else.
Well, not just America first, Matt. One of his reasons for running was to get America out of what he called forever wars and to avoid new wars that he said other presidents started. But actually, it turns out that President Trump has been far more militaristic than previous presidents. He's gotten away with it so far, but it's a very open question as to whether he'll get away with it now. So yeah, this is not going to result in America being stronger or being safer.
Alan, I really appreciate your time this afternoon. Thanks for joining us here on Sky News.
Thank you, Matt.
The Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has been speaking to an American network. Let's hear what he has been saying.
Minister Araghchi, we appreciate your making time to speak to us right now. We have a series of questions. We know that you are one of the few in that country who have the access to communicate outside of a country.
There's a nice tweet for you. It's not confirmed, but we could see a nice premium on oil. We keep covering this now. Let's switch over to BBC. Let's switch over to BBC to get some more updates, some more news.
That an attack was launched on Dubai. It's not clear exactly what Iran is targeting or whether it's targeting anything at all, just maybe Dubai itself. But there is a US military presence in the country. The UAE Ministry of Defence has said that it has intercepted a new wave of Iranian missiles and drones that were coming towards Dubai. That's according to the Emirates news agency, cited by Reuters. So a blurry image, but you can see there a very thick plume of black smoke, which people in Dubai can see right now on the skyline. Let's go to Palm Beach and speak to our senior North America reporter, Bernd de Boosman. Bernd, it's good to see you. Ordinarily, in a situation like this, where a US president was taking the country to war, you might expect him to return to the Oval Office, but not this president.
Not this president, and we haven't heard from him actually today since his morning address at about 2:30 local time. We do know that in the past, though, he has ordered military strikes from Mar-a-Lago on more than one occasion. In January, for example, when he ordered the capture of Nicolas Maduro, he was here in Palm Beach. That was also the case last year when he ordered the strikes on the Iranian nuclear facilities, and in the past in his first term when he ordered strikes on Syria. The Mar-a-Lago estate is fully equipped to serve as a situation room, and it's something he's made use of in the past quite a bit.
You follow these things really closely. What did you make of his response to the talks in Geneva? I was making the point while I was there on Thursday that things broke up very quickly in the evening, quicker than we might have thought. Steve Witkoff said he'd take it back to the president. What was it that he didn't like about the detail the Iranians had put forward?
Well, we asked him about this specifically yesterday. We were traveling with him to an event in Texas, and he said that he was displeased with the Iranians saying they might want a little enrichment in the future. To him, that's clearly been a red line. But at the same time, at that event in Texas, he gave no indication that these strikes were imminent. He said the talks are still going on, even if he's unhappy. And at one point, I asked him very specifically what the timeline is for any sort of decision, and he said, I won't tell you, I would be giving you the greatest scoop in history. And then a few hours later, we heard that the strikes had begun. So I think that says a lot to how this president operates. He keeps decision-making very tight until that decision is made.
We understand that he held a phone call with Prime Minister Netanyahu some hours ago, Bernd. Do they share the same objective here, or do you think the president, is he open maybe to a return to the talks? Is he looking for leverage over the Iranian side?
Well, reportedly on the U.S. side, they're certainly not looking for a long and protracted conflict. That would be very difficult for President Trump domestically. He, of course, promised an end to these forever wars and kind of messy foreign entanglements that we saw during the global war on terror. So he hasn't actually spoken to this yet of what exactly the end goal is here. But for him, the quicker and cleaner and less costly this is, the better it is for him politically.
How do you think the MAGA supporters in the country are going to view this? Because he campaigned to bring peace to the region, to the Middle East. He's been fiercely critical of George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, previous presidents who've been involved in conflicts in that region. So what will they make of this?
Well, I certainly think that there's at least some people within his larger MAGA base that will see this as kind of perhaps a betrayal of those ideals. As you mentioned, many people voted for him partly because he wanted to avoid the kind of messy, long-term nation-building, regime change operations we saw in Iraq and Afghanistan in the 2000s after September 11th. But then again, I think the president will frame this as something that benefits Americans and the safety of Americans. We've already seen him make the point that the Iranian government in the past is responsible for the deaths of American service members in Iraq, for the embassy bombing in Beirut in 1983. So I think at least some of his base, of which he holds enormous sway still, will be receptive to that.
Bernd, good to talk to you. Thank you for that for the moment. Just seeing a line here of the developing news in Dubai. We've shown you some pictures from the Palm area of the city, this black plume near the Fairmont Hotel. The Dubai media office says there is an emergency response operation that has been triggered to an incident in a building in Palm Jumeirah. And that is ongoing. We'll see if we can bring you some more news on that as and when we have it. Let's bring in Patrick Bury, Senior Associate Professor in Security at Bath University. We've had a series of interviews, Patrick, which I'm sure you've been listening across, where the strategy, at least as far as the Israelis are concerned, is to bring this regime to its knees. Just how difficult militarily would that be?
Good afternoon, Christian. Thanks for having us on. Yeah, it was interesting to hear those perspectives as well. I think, there's two things to bear in mind. The first is bombing campaigns alone, and we're not talking about boots on the ground in Iran, on their own usually don't work. Not always, but usually don't work. Now, the key consideration is something going to happen inside Iran, like we saw about a month ago when the protests erupted?
Martyn is just saying he's preparing for Iran-US war stock market reaction live event. He'll be live all day. So there'll be more updates coming from Martyn. We'll be live covering this probably all weekend now, just so you know.
Stockpiles and their own posture right in the region, sense the broader strategic window of opportunity, which is the regime is weak, their air defense is weak, etc. But I would say, so it's very difficult to see how it would work without an uprising internally, and hence why Trump has been calling for it, as have the Israelis. There is a slight difference, though, and that is the way the war is advanced at the tactical and operational level in terms of drone warfare, in terms of AI targeting and integration. It does mean that they may not have to actually go into Iran with their own troops. I doubt that there's no appetite for that. But you could have a situation where you flood it with drones, and then your targeting kind of increases the long-term persistence of your targeting ability inside Iran once you've established, local air superiority, etc. So it's a slightly different and emerging situation too, technologically, is what I'm saying, than the previous bombing campaigns perhaps we've seen.
At the moment, we're looking solely at the ballistic missiles going into Gulf Arab states. But, of course, there is an asymmetric threat, which could be pending, which will have an effect in Europe and in the United States, you would think. It is the holy month of Ramadan. The Ayatollah is a spiritual figure. There are the popular, the PMAs, the popular mobilization forces in Iraq, which have already been a sore for US troops in Iraq. The fallout from this could be enormous.
Yeah, and we're already seeing some footage, not verified, but looks legit, coming in of the headquarters of the US Fifth Fleet in Bahrain being hit, and in particular, it looks like some sort of communication signal is node there. So they have, and as their footage is showing, in Dubai, etc., there's been attacks on Kuwait airport, it looks like, as well. So they're getting through. Some of these things are getting through. I think in terms of the campaign, it's really interesting to see if this was, because what was coming out from the IDF is essentially this was an opportunity to kill senior leaders all in one place, and we took that opportunity alongside the US. They've called for a regime change, and I would be now looking to see what happens over the rest of the weekend. Previously, these kind of attacks have, as we know from last year, flared up and then dampened down, and you've had the Gulf. The GCC essentially tried to restrain everyone. Now, the GCC has been targeted more this time. So I think we're in the interesting thing is if there's more tonight or not, then this would explain what the escalation ladder is looking like. But of course, Iran can activate those proxies. We've seen that. Potential cyber attacks against the West and other targets. Obviously, the retaliation with the ballistics and drones, and also I'd say the counter-terror threat is now raised inside the West without supporting it.
As I mentioned, that asymmetric threat is certainly something not to be ignored. What about the European forces? The E3 have spoken today. The Prime Minister's obviously made it clear that the RAF is responding in a defensive capacity to protect presumably British interests in the region. But how long will they be allowed to sit on the fence if this is a long, protracted conflict?
That's a good question. I think their role may be more than what the leaders would probably want to do is have the role as it was in the defense of Israel, so in defensive roles only, so interception if they get called into it. We saw the amount of the salvos that Iran was able to fire, although, with the help of their allies and in the region as well, of course, were able to keep the interception rate up at around 90%, which was very strong. If this was to continue in that way, and as you know, I heard your previous guest talking about how long, basically, you're talking about rounds of air defense interception missiles, how much you can go toe-to-toe with the Iranians. And say that's 10 to 12 days. If there is this bigger conventional fight, which isn't yet confirmed, then then you would expect to see, I would have thought that's the most likely course of action for European involvement along with the GCC allies. What I would say is if this continues now and we see broader strikes, there's a bit of a race on. What the US will be wanting to do, and the Israelis, of course, is to identify, first of all, obviously, get air superiority. Secondly, identify and destroy those mobile and static missile launchers. That's what they've got to do, because once they do that,
right,
then,
what we're going to do, we are going to
end
end this show, and we will set up a new event for this. Let me just set this up. Stay where you are. We will send you to the new event, to the new room, if you will, and we will keep covering this. I'm now speaking to Martyn. He's getting ready for his major, for the main event. He will be covering this extensively, the market reaction. I will continue covering this in the new event, so stay where you are. I will forward you, I will redirect you to the right place.
Talks in Vienna on Monday, and perhaps a high-level set of talks in Vienna towards the end of the week. But we did make the point that that would require some patience from President Trump, who didn't appear to be impressed by the draft that the Iranian side had given to him. We just had a statement from the US House of Representatives Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Brian Mast, who issued this statement on the strikes. Today's strikes, he said, are the inescapable response to 47 years of continuous and calculated aggression by the Ayatollah of Iran and all his generals against the United States, our allies and the Iranian people. Every day under this regime, the United States and our allies, he says, have been under imminent threat of attack. The days of America waiting to be attacked by Iran are over. Helena Humphrey has been with us through the afternoon in Washington. That suggests to me that there are elements within the Republican Party that would support regime change.
Well, that is one perspective put forward by the Republican lawmaker from Florida. Essentially, he's someone who's emerged as fairly hawkish on foreign policy, and you can see it there in that statement. And I think what he does is echo those sentiments that we'd heard from President Trump in that 8-minute social media video, because Donald Trump, in seeking to justify these strikes, took the American public back to 1979. He says that the threat has existed since then. He spoke about the Iran hostage crisis, for example, when, of course, there are a number of Americans who were held in that hostage crisis, which lasted 444 days. And he said that since then, Americans have continued to be at risk. And he sought to justify these strikes, not just with regards to the nuclear program, but saying that Iran
bear with
can
me.
never have
Give us 2 minutes and we'll move over to the next
everyday
event. We will cover this extensively. I will be covering this
Iran
all day
as well
for
as
you,
through,
so stay where you
other
are.
groups,
Give us 2 minutes and I will
proxy
forward
groups
you
in
to the next
region.
event.
Essentially, that is what Donald Trump has said. But, you know, when you look at other elements within the Republican Party, Thomas Massie, for example, you know, even those who are saying, be that as it may, this should be an act of Congress. And that is one of the key arguments that is emerging today, that these such strikes should have been signed off on by lawmakers.
Helena, thank you for that. We have had comments from the Iranian foreign minister, who says we are interested in de-escalation. If the United States wants to reach out, they know how to find us. We're not giving up our right, though, he says, including for enrichment. And he confirms that they have lost 1 or 2 commanders in the strikes this morning. You're watching BBC News.
Right, let's move over to the next event. It's in the chat for you now. You have the link. If you stay where you are, it should take you there automatically. I'm ending this now. I will see you in a minute in the next event. We'll be covering this for you live all day on the channel. Me, Martyn, and Sensei. That's it from me. Thank you for joining me. Take care of yourselves and each other.